women think that they should not practice yoga while menstruating. Is it really true or is it just a myth?
Honestly, the truth lies in the middle. It's like there is some part of yoga that you're not supposed to practice, and the other part which is really helpful during those days. So the thing is, like, people have this misconception that as soon as you assume yoga, it's not just one topic such as asana or pranayama, and people in the same stream think that even during menstruating you shouldn't do yoga because it's more asana based and stuff like that. But I feel it's a lifestyle, and I think people will agree with me. Whoever's been practicing yoga for quite some time, I think they'll agree with me that it's just more than your asana, and it's just more than what you do on your mat. So yeah, that is what it is.
When one practices yoga during menstruation, how is it different from a regular yoga practice?
So regular yoga is the combination of like different intensities. And again, that depends on what intensity you've been practicing for a very long time. What is suggested during menstruating is that you should not practice something that's physically hard on you, or to some that region of your body which is at strain, that is given your hips or your thigh region or your lower back and things like that. You should make sure you don't put a lot of pressure on it or a tension on it. Instead, practice some asanas or some pranayamas that will relieve that stress and loosen all the muscles there and just helps you cope with the pain. And apart from that, of course, pranayama, breathing and all, it keeps you in a much calm pace during those days and will help you handle things better. I mean, at least as an athlete, you'll understand that, I believe, because you've been there through those days, and
Right.
it's like it's kind of pressurizing. There's a lot of tension, competition, you need to keep up. The only probable way to relieve your stress during those days is a good meditation for 5 or 10 minutes, or some good pranayama.
When we talk about asanas, what are some of the important asanas that
So
could help?
basically, when it comes to a menstrual cycle as a whole view, it's just more than your normal 5 days or 6 days or how many ever irregular days of bleeding or whatever women have, because that's such a varying pattern among all of them. See that specific to those days there are some asanas, but I'd also like to extend it to the rest of the 20 whatever cycle you have for the 28 days. So a lot of people, what you see is like, even in adolescents, that way it's seen that they have amenorrhea, that is they don't have regular cycles, or they have dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea is the most common thing, that is the pain, and believe
Bleeding.
me, it's excruciating. Exactly. So you need to you treat yourself in such a way that you're more comforted those days. And apart from that,
Mm.
people have like too much bleeding, and controlling all of those is also important. So for those, there are some asanas specifically to regulate your cycles and all. But the most common asanas that is really there during those days is for like relieving your pain and all of that. So if we talk about that, it's something that loosens your inner thighs and your hip region and your lower back region and all of that. So some asanas that way, if we say, that will probably be Baddha Konasana, that's the butterfly posture, and it's most preferred. And I've heard from a lot of people who are like, I'll have my menses, and then I'm like sitting every day normally in Sukhasana, but then I end up doing Baddha Konasana so much because it's so, relieving and relaxing to the muscles. That one, of course. And then Paschimottanasana, if you have lower back pain, Chakrasana, if you have abdominal region pain, and then there's Naukasana if you again have your abdominal pain and all of that. And apart from that, a lot of other normal standing asanas or sitting asanas are very, very helpful that way. And even our Vyagra Kriya that we do, it works on that region, right? So it loosens. It's like you come to a dog posture, and then you lift your leg every time you breathe in, and you pull it back in and touch it to your nose every time you breathe out. So it goes breathe in up, breathe out down, breathe in and breathe out. So it really helps relax your muscles. And since it's based on how you breathe also at the same time, it'll keep your pace really calm and low and things like that. So those are some important asanas. Apart from that, there are some important mudras as well. Okay, so if we come to that, the most common mudra that we all use is chin mudra, and that is effective for a lot of things. Mentally, at least, it's prone to give you good sleep and keep your self a little happy and healthy during the days. Give you some mental relaxation, keep you focused, and see if you want to do something, but then you're having period pain, that your focus will go towards that more than the work you're doing. So at those times it really helps to just sit in one place and focus on what you want to do and things like that. Apart from that, there's prana mudra. This is prana mudra, and this is chin mudra, like I mentioned before. And apart from that, we have shunya mudra. This is shunya mudra. This is also very helpful. And this is prithvi mudra. Okay. And then after that, we can also do something called as the Viparita Karni Mudra. So Sarvangasana and Halasana are supposed to be two asanas that help you regulate your menstrual cycle. So how the important mudra that is practiced during the menstrual cycles or the menses is that Viparita Karni Mudra. And this mudra has nothing to do with your hand, but with your body. So this is another myth I'm bursting here by telling you that mudra is not only hand gestures or anything, you can do it with your body as well. So the thing is, whenever you go to Sarvangasana or Halasana, right? So you sleep on your back, raise your leg to 90 degree, and then do the needful for the asana. But what we do in Viparita Karni is we keep our legs at 90 degree and hold it there. So this mudra is a body mudra, and this is Viparita Karni. So it really helps, to relax those muscles near your abdominal and hip regions. And that is why it's very useful during those days. Just like how you do Sarvangasana, Halasana, and those are useful during those days, the same way this mudra is as well.
Anything specific to the breathing practices that that can help
Breathing practices,
women?
yes. So the most amazing breathing practices I really like doing those days is something that really cools my body. So there are some breathing asanas called as tranquilizing breathing techniques, and for example, you have Shitali, Shitkari, and you have Sadanti. All of them are something to do with your mouth region, so you feel a little cold around your mouth, and that also cools down your body. Apart from that, the most important breathing practice is your slow breathing and your Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama is known to cleanse all of your nadis. You have about 260 nadis in your body, and all of those cleansed. If you have a good practice for 30 minutes every day, it's very, very helpful, and it keeps a balance in your body. Since menstrual cycle is related with your reproductive health, any imbalance in these two Shaktis will also vary a lot. So if you try to maintain your what Gauri Shakti or the female power that we tell, the female energy, what is there, then it's very, very helpful for the people. So for that, mainly what it is like you tranquilize your body more, you keep the cooler part more. So every time we end Nadi Shuddhi, at least for women, I suggest that you end it with your left nostril only. So that is known as the Chandra Nadi part of your body. Your right is the Surya Nadi part of your body. So it's something like that. So keep that calmness and coolness in your body during those days, and it's very helpful that way. And apart from that, you can do Brahmari. That's also really helpful. All the vibrations in your body, it helps to ease out the pain. And you need to do Trataka. That's also very, very helpful. You can do Jyoti Trataka, Bindu Trataka, anything of that sort to help you keep focused and all of that.
Anything that they should avoid doing or that they should not practice while menstruating?
Okay, yeah. So about this, like I told priorly, you need to make sure you don't put a lot of physical exertion and things like that on your body. So avoid lifting something very heavy, and like for athletes or like anybody who's training that way, try to avoid heavyweight training and things like that during those days and go to a much low intensity workout. I think that is more helpful. Don't strain yourself, and make sure you're not tightening any muscles during those days, especially your abdominal muscles. especially your hip region, your tighten there. Like keep a low pace and try to loosen those muscles and relax those muscles. You can give that much rest to your body in those days. Only in dire situations where you have a competition or something that you have that day and you need to practice really hard, go for it one day, but make sure you take your rest after that properly. Otherwise, it's too much for the body to handle. And mentally as well, you'll feel very exhausted and tired to move ahead and do something else. So that is what I would say about it. Just keep your workouts low intensity and go ahead with a good mindset saying you can, push through these days also pretty well.
Is it okay if I do Om chanting during these days? Because, people have this myth of
Right, right.
impurity and godliness and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. So,
Yeah.
anything you want to say about that?
See, Om chanting is supposed to be the most phenomenal vibration you can probably listen to, and there is nothing as such that you shouldn't do, during your menses. See, purity is what comes within your body, and everybody is not menstruating and bleeding is nothing to do with your impurities. Everybody should know it by now. Who said that these pranayamas or prayers, whatever you tell, is bad? Because those vibrations, whatever with whatever intensity or with whatever loudness you tell, is so important that those really help you relieve the pain. Like I said, good vibrations are very, very important during those days. And try to keep a good vibe around you so that you don't get anxious or you don't make other people anxious around you and things like that. It's just some ways to keep yourself calm. And like we say, Om chanting is very, very, very good for your body. It's practice it, and there are ways you can split those Om chantings into 3 mantras. Practice that also. It really keeps you calm and focused and stable minded. It's a phenomenal practice. Never stop doing that. This I'd also like to tell this one relaxation technique. It's called as the alpha state technique. So it's like, what you do is it's something that is used to heal your body by yourself. Okay, and it has nothing to do with doing asanas or anything. It's mostly based on the affirmations you give to your body. That is something very important. Whatever you say to your body must be good. Your body will listen to you and nobody else. Even while you're working out, why people tell you to concentrate on that part of the body is because you're telling that body in a physical manner to transform it into a certain way. Okay, so it's the same way when you tell it out loud as well, you will be clear about it in your head, and the same thing is going to go to your body. So what we do in this alpha state is like we start a countdown from 10 to 1, imagining golden numbers, obviously with your eyes closed, and you go to 1, and then you start giving affirmations to your body. By that time, your body would have reached a level where it's supposed to hear everything that you're saying. So whatever you say is very crucial. After that, countdown from 10 to 1, and then you start saying wherever ailments or anything you have, you should start giving affirmations to it, that you're healing, you're getting re-energized, and you're feeling relaxed, you're doing fine, you're doing fit. It's very important to stay optimistic and give yourself that little bit of a boost. So if it eases out your pain, amazing, just do it. Just say that you're doing fine, your muscles are getting relaxed or something like that. And then the same way, count back from 1 to 10 and then come back out of it, and you're good to go. That's it. So this is a very small technique where you can use to heal yourself